This Saturday, October 12th, live for DR Sports, 8:30 p.m. We will be in the studio covering the biggest fight of the year. Artur Beterbiev taking on Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Do not miss it. We've got special guests. We will be in the studio. We will be covering it live. Got a great undercard. Make sure you catch us on Saturday. Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome along to LL Sports TV. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're enjoying the international break. Today I thought I'd do a quick football video, basically asking the question, what in the hell has happened to Gabriel Jesus? But before that, I just wanted to take some time out to send a quick message of condolence to the family and friends of George Baldock, a former Milton Keynes, Sheffield United, and Panathinaikos and Greece international who passed away recently. Very sad news. Just want to say again, rest in peace. And shout out to the family. Very sad news, very tragic. George Baldock, I remember he actually played against Arsenal when we played Sheffield United. I think it's almost a year to the day. Yeah, he played in that game. So yeah, very sad news. And once again, condolences to the family. Okay. So back to Gabriel Jesus. The purpose of this video is to ask, what's happened to Gabriel Jesus? I'm going to be asking, do you think it's over for him at Arsenal? Can he make a return? So let's cook. So okay then, so Gabriel Jesus, 27 years old, born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, grew up in a relatively poor area, but excelled at football from a very young age. And if I could just quickly go through his attributes as a player. Very talented, absolutely no doubt about that. Very skillful, technically gifted, good on the eye, aesthetically pleasing, creative, excellent dribbling ability, good movement, good work ethic, leads the press well. Now, he's mostly right-footed, but he can play in a number of different positions, namely centre forward, false nine, winger, attacking midfielder. So, as you can see, he's a very talented player. He started his career in Brazil playing for a club called Palmeiras. He did very well there. And in 2017, I think it was, he was picked up by Man City for quite a big fee of 27 million. So, you know, he's obviously a highly rated youngster. Came to Man City. He was there for, 5-6 years? And in that time, I think he won something like 4 Premier League titles. So he was seen as one of their better players in that team. Let's face it, a team of very good players. He was seen amongst the best in that team. So, you know, I mean, obviously a very good player, as I said, scored 58 goals. And I think it would have been 2022, Arsenal paid, at that time, they paid Man City 45 million to sign him. Mikel Arteta signed him. He would have worked with him, of course, at Man City, because obviously Arteta was a coach at City before he became manager at Arsenal. So he would have known all about Gabriel Jesus. And if, you know, it's worth remembering as well that Gabriel Jesus had come to Arsenal at that time in 2022 as a Brazilian international. I think he's got something like 64 caps, 19 goals. Now, my point is, you don't become a Brazilian international if you're not a good player. And the fact that he's got 64 caps kind of speaks for itself. So at the time when Arsenal signed him, I think they signed Zinchenko roughly about the same time as well. Those two signings were seen as pivotal in taking Arsenal to that next level. So those were signings that were pretty instrumental, that could take Arsenal to that next level and be challenging the likes of Man City and that for titles and so forth. And Gabriel Jesus has now been at Arsenal 3 seasons. It got to be said, as much as we've said how talented he is a striker, but his goal record today has not been the best. Let me just briefly tell you that in the 3 seasons he's been at Arsenal, he's got 15 goals, which is not a great return. The first season, 2022-23, got 11 goals. The 2023-24 season, only 4 goals. And this season, he's yet to score. So he's yet to score in 8 appearances so far for Arsenal this season. And in fact, his last goal for Arsenal, would you believe, was a goal that he scored against Forest back in January of this year, 2024. So that's a long time, something like 20 plus games. So I think it's fair to say that Gabriel Jesus, for a few reasons that I'll go into later, has unfortunately failed to make the impact that we thought he would have. You know what I mean? And it's kind of sad because, as I said, we know he's a very talented player, but for a multitude of reasons, it's not quite happening for him. I mean, let's look at this season, for example. This season, his first and only start was in the Southampton game. But again, he failed to make an impact. I think in that game, he managed something like 5 touches inside the box, just 1 attempt to dribble, and didn't manage a single shot on target. And he was only on the pitch 60 minutes before he was hooked. So, you know, it's not been looking too good. And the reasons, I said I would talk about the reasons. The reasons as I see it for his lack of impact so far is first and foremost the inconsistent goal scoring form. I mean, this is a man that said on the record that goal scoring is not his forte. We would have hoped that would have picked up in the 3 seasons at Arsenal, but unfortunately it hasn't. Like I said, the first season he was there, he got 11 goals, which is, you know, double figures. I guess it's acceptable. But then the second season, he's only got 4 goals, and this season he's failed to score at all. So, as you can see, the goal scoring is not prolific. Now, the reason that underlies all that is because the injuries. He's had a lot of injuries at Arsenal and missed a lot of games. I mean, let's look at the injury record in more detail. In the 2022-23 season, he missed something like 16 games with a knee injury. In the 2023-24 season, he missed 17 games with knee and hamstring injuries. And so far this season, he's already missed 2 games. And the season, you know, is not really... We've only played 10 games of the whole season so far, and already he's missed 2 of those with injuries. I think he was out for 2 games with a groin injury. So as you can see, he's had knee injuries, hamstring injuries, groin injuries, and let's be honest, that's definitely affected him. And the way that would affect him as well is not just in terms of missing the games. It disrupts your fluency. It disrupts your form. Players will often suffer inconsistent form because by the time you get back in the team and get up to speed, you know what I mean, they're always playing catch up. So I've got to be honest, man, the long-term prognosis is not good for Gabriel Jesus. It would appear that his career, it's kind of, I hate to say this because I like the guy, you know what I mean? It appears that his career has plateaued out and even could be on the decline, which is a sad thing to say. We're talking about a guy that very talented. He's only 27 years old. But at the moment, it's just not happening for him, man. He's only ever registered double figures in the Premier League in 3 seasons. 2 of those when he was at Man City, 1 when he was at Arsenal. Like I said, last season, only 4 Premier League goals. Nowhere near good enough for a player of that ability. And it's just not working for him right now. Like I said, the injuries have plagued him. Put on top of that inconsistent form, lack of confidence. It's not looking too good, if I'm going to be right and say that, but it's just not looking good. And there's people already talking that he could be on his way. If not in January, then in the summer. So much so that some of the fans as well are starting to turn on him, which is never a nice thing to see or hear, which has led to people like Ian Wright, legends like Ian Wright saying, look, appealing to the fans to give him more time. But so it's disappointing, but I want to put the question out to you guys. What do you think? Is it time for Arsenal to move on from Gabriel Jesus? There's a school of thought that say that Arsenal have actually outgrown him as a player and they need to look elsewhere. Do you think he's done at the top flight, or do you think it's a temporary blip, he can make a comeback? I mean, I'm personally hoping that once the international break is over, he can get back in the team, get some form, get some goals and change things around. But I've got to say, man, it's not looking great, you know, let's be honest. The long-term prognosis, as I said before, does not look good. I mean, I'm hoping that he can make a return to form, hoping he can play a pivotal role in bringing Arsenal some honours this season, which, let's face it, is why we paid the 45 million for him back in 22-24. But it's just not working out in the moment. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? I mean, am I being premature in saying that? Am I being harsh? I mean, like I said, we know he's a talented player, but for whatever reason, well, we do know the reasons. The reasons are the injuries and the loss of form and the loss of confidence. Can he get it back, though? Ian Wright and people like that seem to think it can. I spoke to my brother Robbie earlier. He seems to still have belief in Gabriel Jesus, but I'm not so sure. I mean, this is a man who once said that goal scoring is not his forte. That leads me to believe, with all the other stuff that's going on, that he's probably reached his zenith at Arsenal, he's plateaued out, and unfortunately he's on the decline. At Arsenal, I'm not saying he can't go elsewhere and have a good career. And indeed, there are rumours abounding that his former club, Palmeiras, are showing an interest in taking him back to Brazil. Do you think that's a good move for him? Should Arsenal move on from him? Let me know in the comments. Just a quick video, but I thought I'd do a video on this subject because it's an issue that's been kind of had me thinking now for a while. You know, watching the man, I just don't think he's on it at the moment, and that's what led me to do this video. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Take care.